I want to talk about how fucking valiant and how much of this great battle people online talk about nofap, talk about quitting porn. They make it seem like it's the great battle from Game of Thrones. The fucking one where there's the ice wall and the zombies are going to come. They make it sound like this massive Lord of the Rings battle. You versus porn addiction, right? Oh, porn addiction. You've got to realise that you're not fighting anything, so you can't win. You can't fight and win against a non-existent entity. And I understand the masculinity that comes from like the fucking, you feel like some Spartan working against the powers of evil. You feel like this Jedi, and like porn addiction is like this. It's like the big bad beast that you have to work against, the demon, the affliction. You have to kill it. You have to beat it. You have to win, right? That's very motivating and it's very cool, right? If there were a real enemy. If it was a real enemy, if it was a real bad person, then it would be great. But the thing is, you're not actually fighting anything, so there's no reason to feel so valiant and so motivated. And actually, when you personify porn this way, when you make it an external thing that you're battling against, you're just confusing yourself even more. And fuck me, if you go down the nofap rabbit hole and you start going on these forums and reading about addiction and reading about dopamine, you're going to fuck yourself up. You're going to make it way worse. And chances are, you've probably already done that. I did it. What a nightmare. When I was in university, I would like go in the shower and I'd be like, I will beat this affliction, and I would put on the cold water, like cold shower, and I'd just say like, I will beat it. I'd get like angry and stuff to like pump myself up and motivate myself. And believe me, if it was like, if there was an actual enemy, like if I was like training to like be in a fight or like training to beat an exam or do some kind of great task, then all of that energy, all of that motivation would have been fucking cool. But the thing is, you're not beating anything. You're beating like fuck all. There's nothing you're battling. You're inventing a demon. It doesn't actually exist. The way you do quit porn is obviously using the freedom model. It's by deciding. It's by busting all of the myths around pornography, what you think porn can do for your mind. It can't do anything. It can't change your thoughts. And because it can't change your thoughts, it can't give you pleasure. Porn cannot give you pleasure. If you feel pleasure when you're watching porn, you're giving pleasure to yourself, mentally. And because you're giving yourself pleasure, you don't actually need to do that if you see large enough benefit in not giving yourself pleasure, right? And that's how you quit porn, right? That's how you quit with regard to the pleasure part. The thing about porn is that you have many reasons for watching porn. So there are many reasons to debunk. And once you get over that, it's simple. It's like slipping free. The problem is when you personify it, as I said, when you make it this demon. Man, imagine that, right? Imagine there's a... You can't fight against porn addiction because it doesn't fucking exist. You have an urge, right? You have a desire. You want to watch porn, okay? Now you personify that as an external thing that you're battling against. The problem with that is it's you. You can't battle yourself. That's why you never win. Because it's you. You're the one choosing. I'm talking like I'm some guru. I fucking got caught in this trap for 6 years like a dummy. I was a big dumbhead and read all about the neuroscience thinking that I was smart. I know about dopamine. I know about how the brain works. I know about habit loops. I know about porn addiction. I've read loads of books about it. Yeah, loads of wrong books written by fucking idiots. That's the problem. You can read loads of books, but if all the books are written by fucking half retards, well, how good is that? And I'm not, to be honest, I call these guys retards, and it's quite harsh, but I mean, it's just embarrassing. Imagine if you're a scientist, you've been working for like 25 years, and you've written a book about dopamine, and it's just completely wrong, and some 24-year-old kid has like fucking mopped the floor with you. That is embarrassing. Like, you can't be that wrong. I used to have a chemistry teacher. This is way off topic. I used to have a chemistry teacher, and the chemistry teacher had this like substitute teacher called Bob. And Bob was like 70, right, at the time. He was easily 70 years old. And he was working his whole life on this chemical that was similar to aspirin that was going to change, be like the new aspirin. And it just flopped. And he spent his whole life on it. And now he's a substitute chemistry teacher. And he just wasted his whole life on a chemical that didn't do shit. And it's like, fuck, man. That's so embarrassing. That's so fucked. He didn't have any of the impact he wanted to have. And it's sad, and it is sad, but that's how I view these neuroscientists and these people who they spend so much time talking about addiction that doesn't exist. Like, fucking hell, what a cock up. Oh, God bless the people who wrote the freedom model. If you like, when you figure out the truth and you just like quit porn, it's not this battle. When you frame it as a battle, let's go back to the battle. The battle's fucked. Like, when you create the battle in your head, right? Because it's you, it's always you. It's only you in there. When you create the battle, it's you against yourself, but you can't beat yourself because as soon as you go into, let me put it to you this way, right? So there's one. This is how they frame it. These are no fap idiots. They're not idiots. I need to stop saying that. But they're not. They're just misled. These people who are misled, they, let's say you have the desire. You have one desire to not watch porn, and you have the desire to watch porn. All right. You frame the desire to watch porn as the demon. Okay. So you're in point A. You're sat on the sofa doing nothing, and then suddenly you have the desire to watch porn. You frame that as an external urge, right? How can, bearing in mind it's just you in there, so you're deciding to watch porn or you're deciding not to. When you're deciding to watch porn, how do you, bearing in mind you're the same person, you're the only one in there, decide not to watch porn when you're, like, how is there a battle between the two yous? Because there isn't two you. Sorry, the camera cut out. You can decide, right, how you're going to fucking act. You can decide, you can make a decision from your singular one, yeah? You're the only one in there, so you can decide what to do in your life. But when you frame it as being two people, how the fuck does that work? Because it's only you. So if you're choosing one way and you're going down that one path, that's you deciding that. You. If you're framing it like it's a battle, you can only make one choice. You can't choose both things. And yet you want both things. So you're going to have to choose. But your mind is heavily geared towards porn. So then when you lose, you're like, fuck, I should have been stronger. You can't be stronger because it's you against yourself. Doesn't matter how strong you are. If there's one version of me, let's say I weigh, let's say, right, so right now I weigh 70 kilos, okay? Let's say it's me, 70 kilo version of me versus another mirror image, 70 kilo copy of me. It's me against me. None of us have the advantage. It's the same weight. It's the same human. It's the same level of fighting experience. It's the same fucking guy, right? So it doesn't matter if I'm like, let's say I'm like 40 kilos. I'm like some anorexic guy. If I'm 40 kilo me against 40 kilo me, anorexic versus anorexic, it's still a fair fight. If it's 100 kilo me versus 100 kilo me, it's still a fair fight. It's the same guy. Doesn't matter how many push-ups you do in your mind. Doesn't matter how good your willpower is, because your will is being used for porn or against porn. It's you. There's no one with the advantage because it's you versus yourself. Doesn't matter how strong you get because you're getting stronger towards porn or away from porn. It's the same guy, for goodness sake. You have to decide. You have to change your perspective. You have to get educated. This is a game of education and information and unlearning as opposed to learning, really. Look at learning. Like, if you learn nofap, you're going to fuck yourself up. So you need to unlearn nofap. You need to unlearn neuroscience. You need to unlearn. And I'm not saying unlearn neuroscience like, oh, fuck the field of neuroscience. No, neuroscience is a brilliant field. The problem is that they make a lot of logical mistakes because they'll take a brain scan and they'll say, look, a person's changed because of brain's changed because of porn. But the thing is, making that so it correlates with actual heavy porn use and then saying that's an addiction is completely false. So they've got the evidence, but they don't have evidence for addiction. They have some evidence for brain changes, but they don't have evidence for those brain changes being evidence for addiction. Do you understand? Way off topic. This video has been a fucking ramble fest, but my point is, you cannot fight yourself. You have to change your perspective. This is a game of information. This is a game of unlearning. This is a game of perspective, right? There are people who have way worse willpower than me who are like complete fucks and they weren't addicted to porn. I was doing cold showers every day for 2.5 years. I had fucking fantastic willpower and yet I would PMO all the time because I thought I needed it in my life. I thought I needed it to make me happy. I thought it gave me pleasure. I thought it helped me relieve emotions. I thought I needed to bust a nut because my sperm was going to build up. I was just completely deluded. And so this is a game of undelusion, unlearning, uneducation, and rather being educated towards the actual truth. And the truth, as they say, will set you free. End on that lovely quote. All right. So anyway, freedom model, link in the description as per. Get in touch with me on Telegram. And again, I don't mean to be cunts to these guys who are nofap YouTubers. Because at the end of the day, some of the time they're trying to help you. Most of the time they're trying to fill their own pockets, but most of the time, yeah, as I said, some of them have good intentions, all right? So you can't bash them for being uneducated. After all, I was uneducated for years and years, so what can I say? And I don't want to insult you as well. If you're thinking in regard to in accordance with NoFap, I'm not saying that you're stupid, because really smart people can be misled, you know? So, yeah, that's it. Look at, like, you know, there are so many smart people with their own little addictions and vices. So obviously smart people can be deluded. Anyway, that's it. Link in the description for Freedom Model. That's it.